We begin with State Senator Brian Williams, who joins us now on the record. Good to have you with us.
Thanks, Marcus.
So the no drama candidate's first big move was mailing 90,000 postcards calling you a MAGA sleeper agent. As the alleged sleeper agent, how's the drama-free race going?
You know, I'll say this: as a son of a single mom, is quite shameful, and I found it to be hurtful as someone with a progressive record to have someone not only smear me, and to think that Mr. Zimmerman took a procedural vote and said that I voted against abortion rights when I've been on the front line, standing as one of a few Democrats in arguably one of the longest filibusters in the history of the state. The longest.
It was unsuccessful in the end.
It was unsuccessful, but we fought for 50 hours, not only to protect the citizen-led petition process to ensure that voters got an opportunity to vote towards reproductive health rights for women and earn sick pay and an increase in minimum wage. And that fight we actually won. It was because of my commitment to progressive values and issues. And for Mr. Zimmerman to accuse me of being MAGA when I've been nothing but a progressive leader, and as a son of a single mom, is hurtful, and it's been hurtful to my family.
Here's my problem. Your response graphic stamps false claims over that mailer that cites an actual roll call vote with your name on it. We went and checked. So help me out. Was the vote fake, or is the spin on the impact of that vote fake? Because those are two very different things.
Absolutely. So it's the spin of the vote. So basically what it is a procedural vote that would allow a convention of delegates. If the federal government decided to go rogue, we would have delegates that can keep that in control.
In a Republican-led state, you would trust them with that power?
I would trust our state being able to make its own decisions and not having the federal government or any state deciding for us. But most importantly, this is something that, again, if it happened, would require ratifying several other states.
Yes.
It would require clearly delegates ensuring that they don't go vogue. It has nothing to do with abortion, no connection to abortion, and I'm proud of my record of being able to vote in support of women's rights and protecting women at all costs in the state of Missouri.
I think it's fair to say the abortion inference was layered on top of several hypotheticals that would have to be triggered, and it's a little bit convoluted. Fair to note, State Senator Angela Moseley was among Democrats who voted against it. You were one of only 2 Democrats to vote for it. You're comfortable with that roll call?
And I'm one of 2 Democrats that has a pro-choice voting record and has been endorsed by pro-choice progressive groups.
The mailer also says MAGA Republican politicians and big Republican donors have spent more than $100,000 to install you as county executive. It cites the documents, the campaign finance paperwork at the Missouri Ethics Commission. Have Republican donors given to BPAC or to St. Louis Co-PAC, the committees that are supporting your campaign?
I'm sure there's been a myriad of donors that have given to support efforts of mine. I'm sure there's been donors that's given to support many candidates, including my opponents. And for me, I think it comes down to the fact that any dollar supporting my candidacy is supporting a progressive record, someone that has a 100% voting record when it comes to pro-choice issues, as well as women's rights. And most importantly, someone that has been able to go to Jefferson City and work across the aisle to deliver for St. Louis County and be an impactful leader. And that's exactly why my candidacy matters so much when it comes to being the St. Louis County executive.
The mailer says Republican money wants you in this office. Maybe that's a smear. So let's take the red or blue out of it. Contracts do flow through that office. Just ask Steve Stenger. Why does big money on either side of the aisle want you in this job?
Well, I can't speak for why someone would want me into that job, but I can speak to my record and the simple fact that I have ran an office with integrity, that's been transparent, and most importantly, been able to find success in Jefferson City, where it's advocating for securing close to $100 million in funding back to this region, and most importantly, being able to do it in one of the most volatile legislatures in the country. And I think it's important to also note that it's one thing to say something and it be true, but it's a completely different thing to say something and it not be true. And what this comes down to is the fact that I have a progressive record with a reputation of being an ethical, thoughtful leader, and that won't change as county executive.
One last question on this, and we'll move on to the bigger picture issues in that office. And I do look forward to pressing Mr. Zimmerman in a few moments on many of these same attack ads that we're seeing. You're on the Crisis Nursery's advisory board.
Yes, sir.
The Crisis Nursery puts out a statement torching the PAC that supports your opponent. Coincidence?
It's not a coincidence, and again, I hadn't had any conversations as a board member, but I think for a charitable organization that I'm deeply committed to their causes, I've been on their advisory board for several years now, and to think that my opponent used their brand to try to promote a mailer discrediting and smearing me is completely unethical, and I am proud of them and any other organization who has their 501c3 status at jeopardy because a politician like Mr. Zimmerman decided to use their name.
A PAC supporting him.
Well, a
correct?
PAC supporting Mr. Zimmerman is using their brand to try to promote a false smear against myself.
And we'll give him a chance to address that.
And again, I think it's, I'm proud of them for denouncing any negative campaigning, which I think is wrong. And most importantly, I think it's good that they denounce the fact that they stand for an organization that I'm proud to be a part of.
Let's talk about the style and tactics of this campaign as we enter the heated stretch of this race. A family in North County just watched their health clinic nearly get cut, their property taxes climb, and their county reserves drop to $40 million in ongoing budget deficit at the county. Explain why your closing message in a race like this is about a postcard.
Well, it's bigger than a postcard. I think it's bigger about my record. The fact that I have ran a clean, honest, transparent campaign that's simply built on affordability, a record of me being able to deliver back to a county and region that makes up 45% of the GDP, meaning this region drives the economy for the entire state. Voters want to know, what are leaders going to do to make their quality of life better? And when I think about the increase in groceries, the cost of gas, rising property tax assessments, folks are just trying to survive and keep their head above water. And as county executive, I would be committed to not only an affordable, but also a St. Louis County that's telling the story better with leadership that understands how to lead our region into the next century.
Senator, I'm going to ask you about the city-county merger. And before I do, just for our viewers to know, most people usually answer this question by saying, well, I'd have to wait and see the details. That answer has been given to our viewers in this region for 50 years now. You're free to give that answer. If you do, I'll just note for our viewers that you chose not to answer with specifics. So as county executive, do you want to lead this region toward one government or defend two?
First, I want to note the fact that St. Louis County is broke. It has a $41 million budget deficit. And I was proud to carry legislation that opened up a fund of hotel motel tax money that county taxpayers paid into close to $50 million, which allowed us to essentially erase the budget deficit before voters elect me as their county executive. Meaning my priority is stabilizing St. Louis County, making sure government services feel close to its residents. To think that the offices are closing at 3 p.m. instead of 5 p.m., that is an access problem. To think that we have so many different challenges around affordability, public safety is something that I think we need to prioritize. So my first term will be ensuring that the quality of life for county residents who live here is made whole. In terms of working with the city of St. Louis, I'm committed to working with the mayor, and I'm also committed to recognizing the fact that downtown St. Louis is our front door, and we should be prioritizing the city of St. Louis every step of the way. And I would do that as county executive. And then I can have a conversation about what does more regional collaboration or a merger looks like.
I anticipated that answer because you gave a similar one to a recent forum last month. You said you'd focus on county finances before considering a merger, but I want to point out that's not taking a position. That's spelling out a sequence of events for us. I appreciate that, but let me ask it again more directly. If a merger plan reaches your desk as county executive, do you put it to a public vote or do you kill it?
I think at this time, it would be something that I would probably have a conversation with local community leaders, elected officials, and then I would make a decision based on that.
Then tell me one provision that would make you support it and one that would make you oppose it. Because if you don't have either, then you don't have a position, you have a posture.
I think it's going to be really important for me to be convinced that the quality of life of St. Louis County residents will not be impacted, and it's not going to create a bigger challenge for the city of St. Louis. And right now, I have no details in front of me that's going to give me any closure on the fact that St. Louis County residents, which is my priority, is made whole. Their quality of life is thriving. They're viewing their day-to-day as being affordable. They believe county government feels close to its residents.
You're asking voters to trust your judgment, but
I'm
you're not
asking-
telling us what your deal breaker or your deal maker is.
I think it's going to come down again, Mark, to me being confident that St. Louis County government can uphold its end of the deal. And right now, the county is broke. The county has a disconnect from its services. and we have to get our own house in order.
Okay, I think the answer is sufficient for now, so we'll move on. You told the St. Louis Business Journal that it would be, quote, inappropriate for you to comment on moving out of Clayton before you take office, moving the county seat of government out of the city of Clayton. You've told voters what you do about the budget. You've told voters what you do about police, about health clinics. Why is this the one decision voters don't get to know before they vote?
Clearly because I haven't had a conversation with the city of Clayton or their public safety leadership.
You haven't?
And I have not. And I think that it will be appropriate to have that conversation once voters elect me as their next St. Louis County executive and make an informed and educated decision. However, I will tell you there will be three things that I will prioritize: the safety of county employees, the safety of county residents, and then also making sure that we're a good steward of taxpayer dollars. I think taxpayers should have a big say in how their money is spent when it comes to a new building or what we do with the current building. But we do need to note that county leadership across the board has known for close to 8 years that they needed to be out of that building. And I think it's
You accept that as fact?
I accept that as fact, that they have known for quite some time that they needed to be out of that building
Because of
make some
deferred maintenance.
because of deferred maintenance. And I think that that's another reason why.
The county's so broke they're evicting themselves.
And that's another reason why we need to elect leadership that not only has a vision on how to move our county forward, but is also going to recognize how to take these issues serious. And if you're a county leader and you have let this sit on the side for this long, I think it's a challenging problem, and I think it's something that needs to change.
I'm going to press one more time because I think our viewers deserve to hear this. Sam Page will still be executive until January. Are you saying that you have no opinion on the seat of government and where it should sit, or that you have one and just won't share it?
One, the charter says that the seat has to stay in the city of Clayton. So that's not
But the government building where people work at, do you consider that the seat, or is there a way around that?
Again, I don't want to speak to something that I have not been closely involved in. And as county executive, I will prioritize making sure that there's a building that keeps our employees safe, that keeps residents safe, and most importantly, doesn't violate the charter.
I hear someone keeping their options open, a true politician, if I can say so. Last question for you, and I think maybe it's the overarching view of the whole race. Your opponent says the county needs a manager. You say the county needs a fighter. The last fighter is under indictment. The last deal maker went to federal prison. In one sentence, what does the county need from this office that it hasn't had in 12 years?
I think the county needs someone with a record that has delivered for St. Louis County as the largest county in the region, someone that's going to talk directly to residents about how you enhance their quality of life. And most importantly, St. Louis County has a story to tell, and they need a leader that can tell it, that will be able to navigate the legislature, that will be able to work closely with the council, and most importantly, be someone that identifies the best and the brightest individuals to help run county government and make every resident in the county proud. I've done that as a state senator, and I will continue to do it humbly with the support of county voters.
Thank you for respecting our viewers by taking these maybe at times tough questions.